It's the Jaden Show, and here's your host, Jaden Cornelious. It's Sunday, it's the Jaden Show, and I am Jaden Cornelious. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're subscribing. I hope you're telling your friends all about it. Have I got a super lovely show for you today? I am going all the way to the United States of America to meet 6th generation psychic trance medium Theo Kostaridis, originally from Athens, now in Greece, now living in the United States of America. He has been on TV, he has written books, he's been on radio and in magazines. He's a phenomenally talented guy, and I am so looking forward to introducing him to you. But before I do that, let's see a little bit of him in action.
Well, tonight we welcome my new friend, Theo Kostaridis. He is a 6th generation psychic medium, and he's also a paranormal investigator. He's brought a couple of books that he's been featured in, true stories. But you are going to give a talk about your experiences as a psychic medium and a paranormal investigator this Wednesday night at Town and Country Inn & Suites in Quincy, right?
Correct. Yes.
That's from 6 to 9 p.m. and they're still accepting people to come out. So tell me, what are you going to be talking about in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, of who I am, what I do, and the paranormal cases I've helped on.
We talked about this when you came into the studio, but do you have a lot of people saying, what do you see around me, and asking for the inside scoop on their aura?
I do all the time. Yeah.
So your cases, you were telling me, are in Kentucky, your real life paranormal investigations, Kentucky, Ohio, and Tennessee, correct? Yes. What are some of the, just in a nutshell, what have been some of your experiences in the paranormal investigations?
Some of them have been really intense, helping spirits cross over, leave buildings, and then there's visitations from spirits coming back and helping on other cases. Some of them are dealing with kids that have passed on.
Oh wow, that's deep.
Some, yeah, historic buildings, some personal homes.
So what can people expect this Wednesday night?
A fun talk for Halloween. A little bit of everything. Actual experiences.
Your timing is great, because that's just 3 days before Halloween. So, and you would have a field day in Quincy. I don't know if you've ever been here before, but a lot of history here in Quincy.
This is actually my first trip here to Quincy. So.
Are you getting a lot of readings as you're driving through the Gem City?
I'm getting hits when I'm driving through the city, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 6th generation, so you, I mean, this is what your family has done, and did you just decide to carry on the tradition, or did you just have that gift?
I had the gift, but I decided to carry on the tradition, and actually I moved from Florida to Indiana 15 years ago to start it.
Do you do mostly vacant, do you do mostly houses?
No, I've done houses, hospitals, businesses, a little bit of everything.
Have you become more popular because of the popularity of the Long Island medium?
No, I was popular before then.
I love it. Who needs the Long Island medium, right? Right. Anything else you want to get out there? We have these books. Tell me briefly about the books, because you have some real life cases in these books.
The books were written by the team captain, the paranormal team I'm on, and they're actually 3 of our most important cases that are more profound. The book 3 just came out, and I'm featured in all 3 of them. And they're available through Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and most of the book retailers.
And last question, are people going to be spooked out? Or do people who get scared easily, should they stay at home, or is it going to keep it pretty light?
I have no control over what happens when spirits decide to talk to me, but it's going to be a fun night, and I urge everybody that's interested to come out. We do have a couple seats available. We've opened more seating. Contact 812-598-0717 to give us a head count. They can pay at the door. It's $25.
All right. Again, that is Wednesday night at Town and Country Inn & Suites. Thank you so much for joining me, and you'll have to tell me what you read around me when we go to break, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.
Has a question on my feed that says, will I be getting an intake building this year? I'm not seeing it for this year. I'm just not. It's at least another 2 years. I don't see it anytime in the foreseeable close future. To me, it's a little further out.
Yeah, comment
Okay,
boxes.
there is a message of a question from Susan. She says, "Will my daughter Tabitha be in a serious relationship before the year is up?" Not. It's just starting, so not serious enough till I'm getting February.
Yeah,
Like
it's
after, like the end of February, not Valentine's Day. It's right after
Right
that. It's
after
going to
that,
get
yeah.
a push into a serious, and it's going to be like an overnight thing. It's going to be slow, so slow, and all of a sudden, bam.
boom.
Let's go and meet this week's very special guest. Welcome to the Jaden Show, Mr. Theo Kostaridis. Theo Kostaridis! I said that correct, right?
Hello. Yes.
Oh,
Yes, you
no,
did.
man. Welcome to the Jaden Show and Mexico. Bienvenido, señor. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
It's an absolute pleasure, an absolute pleasure. So, for those who have never met you before, you are a psychic medium, but that encompasses a lot more than just being, is there anybody there, right?
Correct.
You
Correct.
also do trance work, you do, so obviously there's different kind of, there's clairsentience, clairvoyant, clairaudient. How would you describe your mediumship?
My mediumship is a little bit of everything because I get the smells, I get the tastes, I get the hearing, the seeing. It just depends on the spirit, how they want to communicate to me.
Okay. What was the thing that was for me? I used to teach for a psychic company in England, but I was really shit. Like 2 times I was amazing, but then I've never ever been amazing before or afterwards. But I was more clairsentient. I think that's kind of how I started. Was there something that came to you first? Was that how did you start developing your gifts?
Well, I'm sixth generation in my family, so I
Wow.
kind of was born with it. So my earliest recollections is when I was a small child, 3, 4 years old, and I still have recollections of seeing figures walking through walls, brushing up against me, staring over me in the bed.
Did you
So
feel
that's how
comfortable with
it
all of that,
started.
or was that something that was petrifying at that age?
Um, it's a little bit of both. I
Yeah.
mean, I was petrified by it, because when you're not expecting it, and all of a sudden
Yeah. Hell yeah.
it's staring you in the face. Yeah. Um, but I got comfortable with it. It
Yeah.
wasn't, I knew they couldn't harm me.
I guess as well, being sixth generation, you kind of have people that you can kind of talk to about it, right?
Right. Right. And that's what helped. My family helped, nurture my strange behavior.
Actually, normal behaviour. I think those that don't experience that are
Well, yeah.
strange ones, right? That's amazing.
Correct.
And so
Correct.
you just continue to find your passion within that, and obviously it's part of your DNA, right? So you just
Correct.
continue strengthening your gifts and working on your practice, right?
Yeah. And over the years, the more I've done it, the more I've developed, my ability, and the more it's branched out.
Mm-hmm.
So there, each time I think, oh, I got a handle on this, I know how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's still no control over it. So
Yeah, and now star of TV, radio, newspapers, everything, darling. You are like
everything, yeah.
going from that little boy who had spirits brushing up against him to actually this has now become your forte. This has become your career and as well as your passion, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it started about 11 years ago, and it hit TV, movies, and everything else.
Mm-hmm. So how did you go from knowing things were going on to deciding that you wanted to kind of actually speak to people? Because that's quite a big, to go and speak to someone that's my father passed away many years ago, and I became a bit of a psychic junkie, but not to prove they were right, because I was upset because there are so many in the profession that prey on the vulnerable, and that's the thing that used to upset me. So how did you take that? Because that's quite a big step of faith from going to like, I'm seeing Joan in my living room and she pops in every Thursday night, in spirit, to actually, I'm going to speak to people about people that they've passed on and they've broken their hearts. That's a huge transition. How did you just become comfortable with that?
It kind of evolved.
Okay.
It was like a spiritual path. It's not the path I started out doing or wanting to do. It's as doors started closing, and doors started opening, it was directing me more into this path. So basically it evolved, and I had no control over it. It was basically the universe saying, this is what we want you to do. This is what you're here for.
Yeah. And also the spirit's bugging you to death because they want you to do it as well, because you're their way of communicating, right?
Right.
Well,
And that's that. And
No.
one of the things I like to do is work police cases and missing people's cases, which I've been called on to do worldwide. So that's something, and it's something that I can give back
Mhm.
and not do it, for personal gain or anything like that. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy bringing closure to families that need it.
No, absolutely. My God, that must be an incredible thing to do, man. Do you ever get overwhelmed by it?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, really?
All the time. Yeah. It can be quite overwhelming at times.
How is it difficult to develop relationships and friendships when you've got 20 dead people trying to communicate while you're having a coffee with someone you met on Tinder?
Yes. Yes, it can be. And, that's the hard part, about relationships and things. It's like, okay, what are you getting on me now? What are you seeing this? It's like,
Oh,
it
yeah, of
doesn't,
course. I didn't even think of that
you
part.
know, yeah.
Yeah,
So
of course.
it's, those are questions I get asked all the time. What are they saying now? Or, I could be, sitting somewhere having a cup of coffee and all of a sudden someone's like, what are you picking up on me? It's like, it doesn't quite work like that because I can tune it off.
Yeah.
Kind of like you shut a computer on and off. That's how it is for me.
Hmm.
I've just learned over the years how to control it.
Hmm. Do you find that people kind of wanted to know you because they felt quite vulnerable, and if I'm your friend, then all of a sudden maybe you have a message? So were people coming
It
into your
has
life
happened.
for agendas rather than just for pure friendship? I mean, like a pop star
It,
all of a sudden has loads of friends because they got money and parties, right? So all of a sudden you can connect with their grandmother or their father or their brother or their child. So were people kind of coming to you for friendship with the agenda that maybe you'll be their forever contact to their Auntie Gert?
and that is an interesting comment because I've never had anybody ask that.
Really?
But it has happened. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm very selective of who I bring into my inner circle because of that.
absolutely. Absolutely. It must be quite difficult. Just on, I mean, like, people seem to forget that, just because you have an incredible gift, like if I wanted to have, I look like Winnie the Pooh, but if I wanted to have a six pack, it is doable. I just have to work my ass off to get it. And it's part of our makeup to be psychic on some level, but you have to work your ass off to be able to fine tune your gifts and stuff like that. But people don't, I don't think they realize the actual kind of, it's actually quite alienating and lonely. And when the majority of your friendship circle happens to be dead, it actually becomes quite, it's hard work, right?
It really is. It really is. And you're absolutely right about that. You do feel alienated because, of the ability that I do have and how I can connect to people. Um, Again, I've ended friendships
Hmm.
of so-called people because either A, they were trying to act like me, or come out saying, oh, I could do what you do here, I'm going to do it better than you, and things like that. And it's like, no, there's no reason for competition or anything like that. Everybody gets messages in different ways. And you're absolutely right. Everybody is born with this ability, but they tend to turn it off or quit using it because that's what they're taught when they're younger.
I also think
Parents are like, oh,
social
imaginary
circles
friends
as well,
don't
right?
exist.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're a lunatic if you're seeing people,
Yeah.
and or you need to be on ADHD medication, or even not just in your family groups as well. The media, the press. I mean, everything is downsizing your brain's activity on a constant basis, right?
Well, it's that. And then, of course, religion, oh, this is against the Bible. God didn't want this, and that's incorrect because it's in the Bible about metaphysics. It's in the Bible that, this is a God-given gift that he's blessed me with. And that's how I view it. So that's helped sort of create my own understanding of things.
Hmm.
Because I'm also a reverend minister. I've studied seminary. I've done that to blend the metaphysics and everything. So I see both sides of the coin and know how to blend them well.
Hmm. So I guess as well. I mean, not only is it, I guess with any gift comes complications and a certain, like you said, a certain amount of alienation. But I guess on the flip side of that, I can imagine your rewards for what you do sometimes is off the Richter scale, right? It's just to see
and
that.
and that's what I like. Correct. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Okay.
that's what I like is the gratification that I've helped somebody
Mm-hmm.
is better than anything that you can have in your possession.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you find as well that, I mean, like, because most of us, I don't know about me actually, I think I'm not including this, but the vast majority of us go through our life ignoring or fearing the end part, right? When we finally say we're out, drop mic, you know, and because of that subconscious fear, that's we live our life with that kind of fight or flight kind of feeling like, oh, I've got to do it, I've got to achieve, I've got to do this, I've got to be, you know, because secretly we know we have limited time. Do you feel that because you know that it's not the end, that it's just a transition, has it made you more calmer a person because you're just part of the flow? You know what's going down. You know. You might not know your time, but you know that you're going to come back and bug people when you leave. You know, the seventh and eighth generations of your families, maybe. Or has it given you? Have you ever been kind of like, I'd really like to know how many years I've got, and do I have to work really quickly because I'm going to be, dead at 96? Like, how does it? Have you got like more of an inner peace and a calm? Have you ever thought about asking your demise, or are you just like doing like all of us, just living each moment and hoping that you last as long as possible?
All of the above.
Really?
Because I talk to dead people and because I see them and understand them, I don't have a fear of death.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually helped people cross over. I've helped spirits cross over that are sort of stuck here or haunting places. So no, I'm really calm about it. I'm really chill about it. But at the same time, I kind of do know what the end is like for me
Okay.
and about when. In a roundabout sort of way, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't let that stop me from achieving the goals because I do know that's down the road and not now. That's not going to stop me from living and doing what I want to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Does that kind of come up in conversations with partners and dates? Like, okay, now everything's great, you're really great, but I've only got 36 years, 4 minutes and 2 seconds left. So if we can get a coffee on tomorrow, that would be great. And you try and get all your dates in as quick as possible because you know your time limit.
Actually, no, I ignore it a lot of times, and sometimes when it comes to my own experiences or what I'm going through, or people in my inner circle that I'm really deeply connected to, it's harder for me to get a read on myself because I'll get the snippets, I'll get the information, but then it's like
you're too close to the subject.
Well, that or I'm too emotionally attached,
Right.
so I could not read the signs correctly.
Okay, absolutely. And I guess, I mean, like, anything really, I mean, we've got the phenomenal ability of changing things within, like in a second, right? All of a sudden we've just decided to turn right at this junction rather than left. And, so I guess, as accurate as things can be, there's always that little ability for things to change.
Well, everybody has that free will, so just because the path is shown to you, you can choose not to take it. And that doesn't change the path. It alters the direction.
It. Absolutely.
But it's like the destiny is the same, no matter which road you take. It's just which direction are you going to take.
Get there. Absolutely, absolutely. So do you have, I mean, like when I speak to singers and artists, I always ask for their inspirations and stuff like that. Do you have any people that you've been looking up to that you think, I mean, there's been some amazing mediums and stuff, that have got a good popular following, and unfortunately, some of them, all of a sudden, whether the media made up their demise or they were found out cheating or something like that, they kind of, they lost their credibility. But have you got people off or on screen that you just think, that guy, that woman, she's amazing, man. That's legit. I'm inspired by how she works.
I have, and when I first started, I mean, there were very few out there that were that well known and everything. But no, I do like some of the information and teachings that John Edwards has done.
Yeah.
John Holland is another one. There's Char Margolis. I follow their work all the time. And of course, from the classics, there's Ruth Montgomery that wrote a lot of the original books when metaphysics was just coming out and being in print. Edgar Cayce, I've studied his readings thoroughly. So there's a lot. There's a lot.
We had a woman in England called Doris Stokes, and I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she was amazing. Oh my God, she was just like everyone's granny. And of course, the media will always make her, and it was back in the 80s actually, so she was quite pioneering for her time to be on TV doing this kind of stuff, because you were still a crazy ass if you were talking to dead people, and she was there in her big floral frocks with her cup of tea and her biscuits, and she was like, right love, okay, I'm getting someone coming through. And she was amazing, but she faced a lot of critical stuff from the press and stuff like that. But I've got all her books, and I just thought she was amazing. We're all human, and air is human, right? But
of course, but with this type of work, yeah, there is a lot of criticism because a lot of people don't understand it. It's not something they can grasp and fully understand.
Yeah.
So that allows a lot of people to be, it's not real, this doesn't happen. And for me, actually, skeptics are some of my best friends. Because when I
think it's really healthy
my
to
audience
question, right?
Well, that, and I like to prove them wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
By pulling out information that, how did you know this? But at times, I'm my own skeptic too. And that's helped me, develop and not stop developing my gift, because it's like, okay, did I really sense this? Did I really get this? Why is this happening? And I question that a lot.
Yeah.
So it just depends. And I've had good teachers along the way, that I've met and that have helped me and have helped sort of give me the ground basics that I need, especially in the last 11 years to where it propelled more.
So what's the future for you? Books, films, movies, or just, how do you see things progressing? Or do you already know?
I kind of know they're about the same. I do see more books, and I'm going to start working more with that after this coming year, later in this year into next year, probably have a couple more books out. Right now, I have been taking a sabbatical over the last couple of years, not doing as much because I just needed a sort of a unwinding.
Yeah, a downtime, right?
Right. And
does that affect your ability? Because like I said, because it is almost like on certain levels, it's something, that you've got to work on in order to keep that channel open, right? So it doesn't, having that downtime doesn't affect.
No, because I've constantly, it's there. I mean, I'm just because I'm sort of keeping under the wire right now, I still use it. I still work, cold cases and stuff like that help keep it going. It's just I'm not out in the public eye,
right?
As much
downtime from public, yes.
Right, okay. Right, because it can get too much. It can be too overwhelming, and okay, I have to be here at this time. I have to be here at that time. Okay, where's time for me to just have a breath?
Yeah, no, I get that.
But no, I've been doing that, and then with one of my best friends, we do a lot of film work. So we're working on a couple scripts and doctoring up a couple of scripts that we have. So those probably will be more developed next year as well.
Oh, cool, man. So that downtime just means away from the public eye. Downtime means crazy ass busy looking at other things to do.
Right.
That's my kind of downtime. Of course,
my bookings, right. And then my sessions, when I do private sessions, are fully booked. So getting in, either is through a cancellation or a waiting list that's 4 months long.
Oh, amazing, man. But that's wonderful. That's total credit to your art and the work that you've put. Obviously, part of it is genetic, but also but knowing as well, for someone who's kind of around people like that, the intense hard work to be able to decipher the messages that you get, especially when you were starting out and stuff like that, is incredible.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I have to decipher the messages I'm getting. It's not like, oh, they're talking to you in full sentences. It's kind of like a Morse code that you have to learn and develop.
Yeah. No, absolutely. What would you say has been the most amazing part of your career, and the most, oh my God, that was completely overwhelming and challenging part of your career?
The overwhelming and challenging part is just how far I've gotten. Because looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I actually did all this. When did this like happen where it just exploded? Like it was like calm 1 minute and then march of insanity the next.
Wow.
So there's that, and I don't know. It just keeps surprising me,
Imagine, man. Do you ever have you ever sat down and think, why me? Like, why did I have to do this?
Oh, of course, all the time.
Really,
all the time. Mm-hmm.
That must be quite emotionally challenging for you to have to be dealing with this all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, people don't understand. There's times where I'm just quiet because I have to be quiet because I keep thinking.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? I mean, why am I keep pushing? And others are, come to me and say, oh, we want to be like you, or how did you do this? How did you end up doing this? It's my path. I didn't,
it chose you.
Create it. It chose me. And then some of the best things that I've experienced over the time is when people come back to me 3, 4, 5 years saying everything you said happened.
Right.
And it happened like this. And then they describe what happened. Goes, do you remember this? And I'm like, no, I don't remember my sessions. As soon as I tell you what I tell you and the message comes through, it's done.
Yeah. Wow, amazing.
I couldn't tell you 5 minutes later what I just said.
Yeah, well, I guess it's kind of not from you, really. That's why.
Right.
You've just been using the channel, right?
And then sometimes when I actually do live, audiences, they'll walk into me, say what they have to say, and walk out. Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm a trance, because they can actually come in and step into my body if I allow it.
Have you ever had any problems with that?
No.
No.
And usually I have a couple other psychics that I'm really close to that I call my battery.
Okay.
That can actually sense if something's going to get out of control or anything, along with my guides, and actually help stop the connection, or I struggle too much to get the connection.
Right. Okay. So you've got a really... So, I mean, it's obviously not just on an emotional level, but you've also on a spiritual level as well. You've got backup and support in all areas of your life, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's really amazing. And originally, are you from Athens, Greece, or your family is from Athens, Greece?
I am from Athens, yeah.
And when did you move to the United States of America?
I came to the States about when I was 5 or 6.
Okay, wow.
So, yeah.
You still have family in Greece?
I do.
Do you ever go back?
I do once in a while.
Yeah?
I'm actually getting the itch to go back maybe next year.
I just see photos of the place. I've got the itch and I don't have any family there. And I live in the Caribbean, but I see photos of Greece. I'm just like, oh my God. That's definitely...
Well, it is a nice place to go vacation, just escape. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, where can people find you?
Through my website, which is psychictheo.com, Facebook, and Instagram.
Fantastic. So do you have it? What's coming up for you this year? Have you got anything coming up in the next few months over the summer period, or are you still on your sabbatical?
I'm still kind of taking it slow. I might be doing a couple shows and fairs coming up, probably in the fall and probably around Chicago area. So,
okay, super.
But I'm going to take it slow, and before like a steam engine going to the next level. I want to take it slow this time and gradual, rather than back to back.
Yeah, and I can imagine it must be completely off the scale, intense, right? Well, I hope you'll come back and join me again. Firstly, thank you so much for being part of my show. People at home, please make sure you follow him. Don't be messaging with all questions about your grandmother and her dog. But if you want to have a really, really nice conversation and touch base with Theo, this is where you'll find him. Okay, all the links will be going this way underneath the interview, throughout this interview, so you know where to find this man. So please go and say lovely things and give the brother some support. Theo, thank you. Theo, sorry, my Spanish again is kicking in. Gracias, señor, por todo. Thank you so much for everything. It's been a pleasure having you on my show. And when you've got some events coming up in the near future, I do a Jaden Show special, very not easy to say, on Wednesdays. So like the Wednesday before the show, we can have a little chat and we can promote the show that week or the week after. So whenever you've got something big coming up, let me know, and we'll have a chat and tell all these lovely people at home where they can find you.
All right, thank you very much.
And if I ever get the opportunity to get out to the United States of America, I'm going to put myself on your list. Okay.
Okay.
For a coffee,
sounds like a plan,
and a reading. That sounds good.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Thank you, Theo, so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday.
You too.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye. Super amazing to chat to Theo. I'm going to be doing more research now and finding out more about where I can read his material and study his work. Super talented and amazing that he's doing so many nice things to help people. So we're not over, because I want to leave you with a song. Now there's a singer, he's from England. It's quite short, although average height, I feel. Blonde, interestingly attractive by certain races of species of human-like creatures. And he's written a song, and he's singing this song. It's called The Light. So I'm going to leave you with this song, The Light, by Jaden Cornelious, and I will see you next week. Please don't forget, in the meantime, to subscribe, to share, to comment, to like, to tell all your friends and your family. Go and check out Theo and go and find out what that boy's about and go and show him some love and support. And make sure you come back next Sunday for the Jaden Show. Take care, guys. Stay beautiful.
I know you feel alone, so far away from home, and emptiness has been your closest friend and his lies. If you believe that this will change and you can heal your past of pain, and you'll find beauty in the smallest things, and they'll make you smile again. Everything that you think, everything that you say in your life, it becomes how you're feeling. Change your heart, make it right, and inside you will find, in the dark of your night, you'll find the light. I think you're beautiful, you know. Time to let your spirit show. You'll find all that brings you happiness. You're free to love and trust again. This world, it ain't all bad. There is nothing you can't have. And this love that you share with everyone comes back to you again. Everything that you think, everything that you say in your life, it becomes how you're feeling. Change your heart, make it right, and inside you will find, in the dark of your night, you'll find the light. Don't let the fear of your past destroy your future. chance, you're safe to let your heart love again. Everything that you think, everything that you say in your life, it becomes how you're feeling. Change your heart, make it right, and this time